3, 2, 1.
Welcome in to the Oktoberfest edition of the Michigan Realtors Government Affairs Videocast. I'm Brad Ward.
And I'm Brian Westron.
And we are live to you today from the Greater Kalamazoo Association of Realtors. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having us in. So we recently had our big lobby day in Lansing, Capitol Day. Thank you to all of the realtors across the state that attended Capitol Day. We had 3 real prominent issues that we put in our talking points to meet with the members of the legislature about. We had, of course, the first-time homebuyer savings account. We had the short-term rentals legislation, and then we also had the Main Street Fairness Act. But really a great turnout, great weather. Had positive comments from both our members and members of the legislature.
That's right. It was one of those perfect days. Blue skies. We took over the lawn, and it was really a great day for realtor branding. All of the feedback we had from the legislators that were able to participate in lunch was significant and positive. One of the things that the key takeaways was really making sure that the lawmakers were tuned into just how active our grassroots truly are, because it's one thing to meet with your government affairs team in the office, but another to have constituents into the office and actually talking with knowledge about our issues.
Yeah, we had 250 realtors from across the state show up. Probably not something we're going to repeat on an annual basis, but definitely when we have those big issues come up, it's impactful to try and put our members with the member of the legislature that they actually vote for. Coming on the heels of that, the legislature passed the budget. We avoided a government shutdown. The governor signed that budget. She vetoed 145 different line items within the budget for approximately $900+ million in terms of what those items would cost the state. She is asking that the legislature come back to the table in earnest to talk about what she views as some very key budget points. One of the things that we want to mention in terms of we oppose going into the budget, part of the governor's plan that would have placed a tax on LLCs and other pass-through entities. Of course, real estate brokerages and real estate brokers often organize as LLCs for tax reasons and for personal liability reasons. That was very concerning that there would be a tax on top of the income tax that was paid. I'm pleased to say that as for now, and as the budget is signed, that was not part of the final negotiations and final deal. So very thankful to our membership who put in time and effort to help discuss the importance of keeping a proposal like that out.
That's right. And as the budget has continued to be a discussion point in Lansing, some of the things that we've been working out, the 3 aforementioned bills, we haven't been able to push them through the committee process on the floor in the House or the Senate yet, but we have been able to kick the tires on some new issues. And one of those, you've heard a lot about the plug-and-play devices that are appearing in everybody's homes, and we call this the so-called nanny cam legislation. But right now in Michigan, we have a situation where it is perfectly legal under a security loophole to videotape for surveillance purposes at a real estate showing, but to use audio in those same showings, it's potentially a violation of the eavesdropping statute. And so right now we're in the process with Representative Graham Filler, who's also the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, of putting together legislation to harmonize the video and audio aspects so that sellers aren't put in a position where they're potentially violating the eavesdropping statute and stepping into a felony. At that point in time, it would be very clear to buyers when they are prospective buyers, when they are walking into a home, that they do not have an expectation of privacy and that they should truly act like they are being watched and listened to.
Yeah, with everything from Ring doorbells to Arlos to video cameras, you are never alone no matter where you go in this world. I know that sounds scary, but you're never alone and always act like somebody's watching. Now that the budget is done, it kind of frees up a little more space for groups like ours to move some of these smaller pieces of legislation. And so we anticipate that bill will come up. We've had some very good discussions with the Department of Treasury and members of the legislature on putting some finishing touches on our first-time homebuyer savings account bill. So hopefully that gets some legs moving forward. And then, of course, short-term rentals. We are currently in a work group process with our friends in local government.
Yep, we spent the whole summer working on finding common ground. Obviously, from our perspective, we still believe that a significant improvement is needed in the zoning law to make sure that short-term rental is actually an understood term, not something that you could characterize as commercial activity and therefore ban in a residential zone. But we are still at the table. We're working on finding common ground, but both local governments believe very strongly in zoning, and the Realtors obviously believe in balancing private property rights with reasonable regulation.
And with that, we will say auf Wiedersehen. I'm Brad Ward.
And I am Brian Westron.
Thank you.